What is up, CSGs? Your Houston Rockets have the number one offense in the NBA, coming off a thumping of the Boston Celtics, where we out-rebounded, outshot, just all-out bullied the Celtics in that game last night. Obviously, they were coming off a back-to-back, so you could take it with a grain of salt. But nonetheless, the Rockets have the number one offense, the number one rated offense in multiple categories in the NBA. And the question is, how and why, especially for Ime Udoka, a guy who's known for defense, and me personally has heavily criticized him for his lack of offensive creativity. What changed? Like, what is this something they're doing? Is it a new play sets that they're running? Is it just adding KD to the mix? It's a little bit of everything, but I'm going to try to explain to you guys how the Rockets have broken the analytical code in offensive creation and what they're doing to actually be the number one offense 5 games into the season. Obviously, it's a small sample size, but you guys know as the time goes on, we'll look back at some of these metrics, measure them forward, and see how they go. But if you guys want to find out how the Rockets have the number one offense in the NBA, how they're doing it, what are the tricks of the trade that Ime and the Rockets have employed, tap into this video right now. Enjoy. The Rockets Chop Shop is your one-stop shop for all your basketball needs, for highlights, analysis, podcasts. We do it all here at the Rockets Chop Shop. Make sure you hit the like button on the videos that you watch if you enjoy them. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications from all the great drops that we have on the channel. Also, you can visit the Chop Shop merch store and get you some of the swaggiest gear in the Houston Rockets kingdom. And if you want, you can always support the channel directly through donations. And if you want, you can support us through our partnerships with our sponsors. The Rockets Chop Shop is made by fans, for fans, and we're going to keep rocking and keep dropping that heat. This is something I know. Thank you guys for joining me today as I break down the Rockets offense. Appreciate y'all for coming through. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos. It's been a long time. These kind of stat videos. So this is going to be one of those. So if you like numbers and you're a nerd like that, you can stick in. If you just want to hear narrative talk, you may want to leave now. You can exit now. But for those of y'all who love hoops and want to talk about some Rockets basketball, we're going to get into some numbers. All right, so if you guys remember the old adage from Daryl Morey about analytics, right? I know analytics gets a terrible name because of terrible people that try to abuse it for agendas. But when it comes down to just figuring out what analytics is basically trying to find efficient methods of creating advantages for your team, whatever sport it is, right? What are the little things you can do? What are the inefficiencies that you have that you could take away from what you do in any field, actually, to get an edge on your opponent? And for the Rockets, they have found some little nuggets that this team that as presently constructed just works. Obviously, we have our issues, right? We don't have a point guard, right? Especially or shooting guard for that matter. The guard depth is way off. And most of us, including me, is asking that we're going to need a point guard. And just to kind of, make a kind of a preface here, I still think we need a point guard. We're going to need a point guard. No matter how you slice it, this team is going to need a point guard because as you saw in the OKC game, with pressure, ball pressure, a lot of this stuff is going to be kind of hard for us to get into. Some of the things I'm going to talk about. Obviously, if you can't get into a half-court set early in the shot clock, then none of this stuff matters, right? So I still think at some point, whether it's from internal development or in the free agency market or trade or whatever, by hook or crook, they're going to need a point guard. They're going to need somebody to kind of help set them up. So far, so good, though. They have been making it work. You have seen development from Reed Shepherd and Amen Thompson. I would argue as far as with their ball handling, a lot of the teams we've played after OKC haven't really shown the same level of ball pressure. Obviously, they are a specific team. There's probably like 2 or 3 teams in the league that can do what they do. So that's nothing you're going to see every night. And that's okay. For this Rockets team, what you're looking at, if I'm going to criticize them, I'm going to criticize them in lens of the playoffs. If I'm going to judge them, I'm going to judge them as far as just looking at how they're performing in the regular season, right? All of that stuff matters. But the ultimate, if you want to be a critic of what they're doing, you have to compare them to a high caliber playoff team. And when you look at it from that lens, there are some holes. But in the regular season right now, these dudes are hooping, and it looks like they found their footing. So the question is, how is this offense that has no point guard? We could barely dribble the ball across half court on ball pressure. The big lineups with a bunch of non-shooters or supposedly non-shooters. How is it that we have such an elite offense? And the answer is back to what I was talking about, analytics, right? What was Daryl Morey always says? It was threes, free throws, and threes, free throws, and just drawing fouls and getting to the three-point line. That was Daryl's thing, right? I forgot. I thought it was one more part to it. But it's drawing fouls and getting to the free throw line and shooting threes, right? And we saw a bastardized version of that under Mike D'Antoni, which it was literally just shooting threes. Now, if you look at your Rockets actually aren't shooting a lot of threes, but the quality of the shots they're getting is elite. Okay, let's look at some of the numbers. Right now, your Houston Rockets, 45.4% from three as a team collectively. 45.4% is nuts for a team shooting. That is up there with some of the best Celtics teams in recent memory that were known for shooting threes. Last year, our team average was 35%. So it's almost a 10% increase. Now, you think about the volume is not really high, right? If you look at where we rank in shooting threes, we are 29th in the NBA, so almost dead last in three-point attempts. So you'd like to get that number up if we're really playing the analytics game. But nonetheless, the way they're getting it, it's not really a method of forcing the threes. It's an outcome of other things they're doing. So 45.4%, that is crazy, elite three-point shooting on low volume for a team collectively. On low volume, you'd like that to improve a lot, right? And the most efficient threes you could find is what? If you guys were here for the James Harden era, is the corner three. The Rockets are number one in the NBA. That is number one in the NBA in corner three-point percentage with 49%. We are shooting almost 50% from the corners on 10 attempts per game, which are ranked 10th. Right? So the corner three-point volume is actually pretty good. It's not as low as our overall threes. So a good majority of our threes are coming from the corners compared to the relative to the rest of the NBA. And who are these corner three-point snipers? Let's look at them. Jabari Smith Jr. He's shooting 7 of 13. That's 53% from three. Tari Eason. Tari is 6 of 11 from three, 54%. He started off pretty rough. He found his footing. Amen Thompson, 1 for 8. Right? Even with men shooting only 12% from the corners. He just made his first three in Boston. Just made his first three. 1 for 8. Josh Okogie is 5 of 8 for 62%. And Reed Shepherd, shout out to Reed, 4 of 6, 66% from threes. So you think about all those players I named, Jabari, Tari, Amen, Okogie, and Reed. What are they? We are using them as spacers when the main action involves either Alperen Sengun or Kevin Durant. Right. So we're putting together this puzzle of what makes the Rockets offense elite. Right. The initial thing is having capable spacers, especially in those corners, because usually what happens, how do KD and Sengun score? They try to get into their bags, whether it's a post up or an ISO in the wing or coming down in the pinch post, or it's going to be somewhere in the paint for Sengun or driving downhill. But those paint touches for those two guys are setting us up to be able to swing. And this is what the difference is when you have respectable scorers. When you have one respectable scorer and they have gravity, you can generate decent shots, right? You can generate decent shots. But in order for you to really have elite gravity is that you have to have the defense skewed on multiple levels. And it's not even in the generating threes in the same fashion as you would think of like a James Harden. I always use him as a reference because that's what you guys know. So when James would generate threes, high pick and roll with Capella, get downhill, help, a weak side help comes, he's going to whip it over to that corner to PJ Tucker for a three. Or same thing, he ISO, gets your man on the island, beats him off the dribble, gets in the paint, helper comes, kicks it to the corner. The way the Rockets are generating threes isn't directly to the corner shots, right? It's really based on them being able to collapse the defense whichever way, forcing doubles, right? They're skewing it, forcing doubles because KD and Şengün demand that you double them. They demand that you double them. So they're not even shooting. KD does not shoot corner threes. I think he's taken like 1 or 2 this entire season. But right now, KD above the break threes, bro, is shooting 42% on those, 9 of 21. And Şengün is shooting 9 of 16, 56% on above the break threes. So they're doing their damage right down center court. And then flexing out those shooters to the outsides. And our shooters are very flawed. And honestly, even if this regresses to the mean, it is still such a big advantage to have the amount of attention those two guys draw. And you know what that leads into? The next piece of the puzzle for what they do is free throw drawing. So we've talked about the threes. Now let's talk about some of these free throws. The free throws, the Rockets are number 1 in free throw attempts in the NBA. 34.8 free throw attempts per game, leads the league. And they also are number 1 in personal fouls drawn. So drawing fouls, 26.6 personal fouls drawn per game, also number 1 in the league. KD has drawn 35 personal fouls this season, and Şengün has drawn 33. So KD's 13th out of all the players in the league, and Şengün is 17th. And so you have 2 foul merchants on your team. 2, well, they're not merchants, they earn them, but we have 2 foul merchants in the top 20. The only other team I think that has 2 is Orlando. I think Franz and Paolo are both top 20 as well. I may be mistaken if there's anybody else, but when I look through the list, it's not a lot of teams that have a lot of guys that are that high up in being foul merchants. With KD and Şengün on the floor, check this out, guys. 41.1 fouls drawn per 100 plays. 41.1 fouls drawn per 100 plays. What does that mean? That means that if there were 100 field goals attempts in a half court setting, 41 of those would be fouls drawn. So if we came down, ran a play, and somebody just attempted a shot, damn near half of those we're gonna get fouled on with those 2 on the court. That's for the entire Rockets. The opponents, so we're at 41.1, which is a crazy number. That means almost half your plays you're going to draw a foul on. Our opponents are being held to 12.7 per 100 plays. So they are only shooting 12, drawing 12 fouls per 100 plays, while we are getting 41.1 or 41. Let's just round it. That is a plus 28.4 free throw attempts per 100 plays. That is called found money, right? We're talking about analytics. When you are generating that crazy amount of a net difference in free throw attempts, that adds to the offense. So you think about where we are so far. So we've talked about threes and the generating the most efficient types of threes, which is those corner threes, right? So the Rockets are doing that, generating corner threes by collapsing the defense with the gravity of Şengün and Kevin Durant. And then now you get into the foul drawing. We're foul baiting and drawing at an elite level. We have a plus 28 free throw attempt discrepancy positive towards us on other teams. That is 28 free shots that you're getting just by stepping on the court. That means every time the Rockets step on the court, they're plus 28 in free throw attempts. Just by the sheer fact that we're not fouling with those lineups with KD and Şengün, and then we're drawing so many fouls, right? And then the next thing comes down to, this is what the Rockets' bread and butter has been since Ime's been here. This is really the driver of everything that we do. It's the driver of us being able to shoot those threes. It's the driver of us being able to also draw a lot of the free throws we have. It's the rebounds and second chance points. The Rockets obviously are number 1 in offensive rebound percentage in the league at 42.1%, right? That's almost half. This is the entire team, right? And then overall rebounding, we're second, I think, either behind Utah or San Antonio, one of them, I can't remember. We are getting 20 second chance points per game, which is 3rd in the NBA, which is really, really elite. And this is for the entire team. This is everybody, big lineup, little lineup, fast lineup, slow lineup. Now, obviously, we have our double big lineup, which does a lot of damage on the boards. But can I introduce you to the triple big lineup? And then this is the triple big of KD, Şengün, and Adams. That three-man lineup has a offensive rebound percentage of 59.5%. That's damn near 60%. I don't know if y'all understand what I just said. They have a offensive rebound percentage of 60%. That means every shot that we take in a half-court setting, 60% of those, we're going to get another turn at it. 60%. So if you took 100 shots in a half court, you're going to get 60 of those shots. You're going to get another chance to make that shot. That is nuts. That is nuts. You know what the league average for offense rebound percentage is in a half court? 30.9. 30%. 30%. That is a net 28% rebound percentage. We are killing the offensive rebounds and the glass on the glass. So you think about that cumulative effect of generating corner threes, right? Generating corner threes, shooting that high, 49% from the corners, right? You're generating that by your offensive gravity with the demand that Şengün puts on you, the demand that KD puts on, the demand that Amen and some of the sets that we run. We're generating free throws at a crazy alarming rate because when you do try to play us straight up, right, you're going to foul, right? And then even if you are able to play good defense on us and we miss the shot, guess what? There's a 60% chance we're going to get another crack at it with said Şengün, with Jabari shooting 53.8% from the corner because when he gets that, when the Steve-O gets that rebound, kicks it to this guy finds the corners. This is what the Rockets are doing. They are killing on the threes, free throws, and rebounds and second chance points. This is why your offense is number one. Now, some interesting lineup data I wanted to look at. Our top three lineups are kind of interesting to see so far. So the most frequent lineup that we use right now is the Amen, Okogie, KD, Jabari, and Alp lineup. That is a plus 17.6 in 83 possessions. Now, when we talk about threes, free throws, and rebounds, I'm going to see how they perform in these. Each lineup Ime Udoka likes to go to has a different flavor about the way they do things, and they do different. They have different strengths in some of these analytic measures, right? That lineup of Amen, Okogie, KD, Jabari, and Alp plus 17.6, shooting 45% from three. So that is a good three-point shooting lineup. 75% from the corners. Right. The volume isn't crazy. It's definitely going to go down as the season goes on. I don't think any of this three-point shooting is sustainable from certain guys. I think some guys are who they are. And then that lineup is not a great rebounding. 34.8 on the offensive glass. Not too bad, but it's above league average, but it's nothing special. So that lineup kills you from three. Right. That's anytime really when Alp and KD are together, it's going to be the foul drawing and the three-point shooting. That lineup has a 37.3 free throw attempt rate. Nothing crazy, but that's our base lineup. Good defense. They're gonna hit their shots from the corner with Okogie, Jabari out there. KD and Alp are gonna draw fouls. Amen is gonna do everything else, right? All right. Next lineup, 72 possessions is Amen, KD, Bari, Alp, and Adams. It's the double big with Kevin Durant out there with Amen at point guard. This one is a plus 25.2 net differential. This lineup is shooting 35% from three. Not a great three-point shooting lineup. Obviously, you're replacing a shooter with Steven Adams, so you give up that. 20% from the corners, also, so not a great shooting overall lineup. But here's what they do: 57% half-court offensive rebound percentage. So this is your second chance points, right? We're gonna get out the mud with this lineup. 30% free throw attempt rate. Nothing crazy, pretty good. Nothing crazy, but pretty good, right? That's a pretty good. They're gonna get to the free throw line, but this is your rebounding lineup. And not my favorite lineup, but it is doing damage. There's some other low volume lineups with Steven Adams and Şengün that are killing it. Here's the third most frequent lineups. Only 24 possessions on this lineup. This is my favorite lineup. I'm not going to lie. This is what I would call our death lineup if we had one. It's Amen, Tari, KD, Bari, and Şengün. It's a plus 32.8. Only 24 possessions. Check this out. Free throw attempt rate, 66%. That is a crazy number. They're shooting 60% on threes, 100% from the corners. Once again, low frequency. And this lineup is not good for rebounding, though. This is not a good rebounding lineup. Only 12% on the offensive glass. Obviously, this lineup is just there for chaos. They score in transition. They're going to hit threes. They're going to defend at an elite rate. I love that lineup. That is a little found lineup that if you see it in the game, just keep an eye on it. Amen, Tari, KD, Bari, Şengün. That may be our closing playoff lineups. Just my guess. Just my guess. That's a playoff lineup right there. And then one honorable mention lineup in 23 plays is the Reed Shepherd at point guard lineup. Now, this is a silver lining for Reed. He started off a bit, the season's been up and down. He's been trending much better. I think he's trying to define his role, which is, to me, is bringing the ball up, not turning it over, and handing it off early in the shot clock, and then go to that corner, bro. I need you in that corner. Let me get this main action going. You be ready to hit this shot or relocate, right? And I think he's doing a good job. Simplifying the game for him is good, and I think they've done a great job kind of letting him progressively learn to become a point guard, right? And so that Reed, Amen, Tari, Şengün, Adams, so it's double big plus Reed, Amen, and Tari. Plus 88, low volume, doesn't mean anything right now, but just keep an eye on that lineup. Keep an eye on that lineup. They are also rebounding pretty good in that lineup as well. I do like the Tari, Şengün, Adams trio on the glass. If you throw a man in there, it gets even nastier. You could literally put me out there with those four, and we're gonna have a above 50% offensive rebound percentage. So this is how your Rockets are destroying teams. This is how. There's additional stuff they're doing as well. If you look at some of the stuff they're doing out of the post-ups with Şengün, I think we are probably number 2 in the NBA in passes out of the post. So you think about when the defense collapsed, being able to kick it out. And you know who number 1 is? Can y'all guess who number 1 team is passing out the post? They call Şengün a baby version of this guy. It's the Denver Nuggets, right? So the Shen Hub it's in full effect. It's different, though. We do it differently. Y'all seen in the Boston game, Şengün was playing PG, calling Capella up for screens, getting downhill, kicking the dudes in the corner. That's different. Jokic ain't doing that. He ain't doing all that. We different, man. So we got to start talking different because bro is different. So your Rockets, once again, 5 games in, this is a small sample size. I foresee that a lot of this stuff is going to regress back to the mean, but what is not going to regress is the way that they play. The free throw attempts are always going to be there. That's just that is just a symptom of the players that we have, right? So you can bank on that. The rebounding is going to be there. You can bank on that. That's not going anywhere. So that's going to be there. The variance to me is going to be the 3-point shooting. And the 3-point shooting has just been icing on the cake because we've seen what a team that can draw a lot of free throws and be able to clean the glass up can do last year, which is, what, 2nd seed? So to me, you've replaced Jalen Green, who was a high-volume, slightly average shooter, with Kevin Durant, who is a high-volume, one of the most efficient shooters in NBA history. That is going to have a very consistent and significant effect throughout the season on the offensive efficiency of the Rockets. I'm not going to bank on Okogie being a good shooter. I'm not going to trust Reed. I don't trust Reed yet to be a good shooter. I'm not going to trust any of these guys. Bari, he's going to be 38% at the end of the year, so he is going to be what he is. Tari, hit or miss. I hope the shot is real. Şengün, I'm not trusting that 3 till a good amount of sample size. KD is there. And if my offense is running through Alp and KD, and on a points per possession basis, those are 2 of the top guys in the league in generating points, not only from scoring, but from free throw drawing. Bro, we have a base offense that is real deal legit. This is not fluky. The thing that they need to work on is that defense, right? If that defense comes around, if that stuff tightens down, and I've liked what I've seen with some of these lineups, if that defense gets around, it's scary hours, bro. It get real spooky out there. But y'all let me know, man. Y'all let me know. Do y'all think that the Rockets offense is going to sustain being number 1? Do you think it's cap? Do you think it's real? What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments and in the chat. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the like button. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel so you can get more bangers from the Chop Chop. Keep rocking with us. I'm going to keep dropping that.